Well, you know, I think God and Moses both just have enormous respect for each other.
What gladiator has that same right spirit as in that reincarnated?
Look, the judges are gone. Even the Egyptian judge is impressed.
Until recently, you claimed that the earth revolved around the sun.
Hello and welcome to History Bites. I'm Rick Green. Nowadays, Thanksgiving marks the start of the Christmas shopping spree as retailers give thanks for credit cards. But when English Puritans settled in Plymouth, Massachusetts, Thanksgiving literally meant giving thanks to God. After all, who could have given them the food and shelter they needed to survive in the wilderness of the New World? God, or possibly Indians. The Thanksgiving story reassures Americans that their country has a tradition of hardworking, God-fearing, salt-of-the-earth folks. It's the truth, but it's not the whole truth. The Mayflower also carried intolerant religious fundamentalists and greedy, free, enterprising capitalists, more traditional stereotypes. Good food, family gatherings, saying grace. The only tradition the Puritans didn't have was holiday television programming. So, loosen your belt, try not to fall asleep from the turkey, and let's tune into Thanksgiving holiday programming circa 1620.
Boy, the way we sailed away,
looking for a place to pray.
a prior ship of breakaways. Those were the days.
And we knew where we were then.
Stuck in sinful England. Thank the Lord the Mayflower brought us to a free continent. But we got these Indians,
Savage, ignorant heathens.
think we need a plague again.
Those were the days.
Hi, Arch.
Oh, you're still here, eh?
Oh, gee, you'll never guess what happened.
Oh, geez, let me guess. The meathead ate lunch like a starving hog.
Well, yeah. But that ain't the thing I was gonna tell you.
What is it?
The governor got everyone in Plymouth together, and 'cause we had such a good harvest this year, and ain't nobody died of starvation, they declared a day of Thanksgiving for giving thanks.
Oh, well, that's great there, Edith. That's superb there. Good old-fashioned Thanksgiving like we used to have back in England there. Oh, yeah, we used to raise a mug to God and say, thank you, God, for letting us live.
Yeah, and this year we'll have New World food. Turkey and corn and squash.
Hey, you mind your peas and carrots there, little girl. There ain't nothing old-fashioned about turkey at Thanksgiving.
But Daddy!
Hey, I want a Thanksgiving like we used to have there, you know, with lots of beef, lots of bread, and on the table by 6.
But Archie, we ain't got any cows.
Oh, stifle! So when is this Thanksgiving?
Sunday.
Whoa. I ain't having no Thanksgiving on no Sunday. Any good Puritan will tell you, Sunday's God's day. Big guy don't want no thanks on Sunday. He wants his rest.
What date are we thanking then?
On lecture day.
Every day's lecture day with Archie.
Come on, lecture day's Toys Day. The day the Reverend gives his lecture there.
Well, I'm just glad the crops didn't fail, 'cause if they had failed, we'd have to have a day of fasting and humiliation.
Oh, geez, with the meathead here, every day's humiliation.
Hey, Puritans! Want to be saved from your sins? Well, your prayers have been answered with my amazing new weight loss program, Starving to the Oldies. 1, 2, 3, 4.
London, city of sin and debauchery, dens of vice, streets of crime, and who will punish the harlots and pimps? Who will swoop down on the thieves and cut purses? Who will deal death from above to those who break the law? God, that's who. Our Lord will punish these wicked Protestants, and after God unleashes Armageddon and this cesspool burns, we Pilgrims will be building a new Eden over in America. So long, sinners!
Anyway, yesterday I was having lunch with this milkmaid. She's very attractive. She looks at me and she says, pureed ham? You know, not, could I have the pureed ham, please? It was just like pureed ham, get it? Pureed ham, Puritan?
Look, if it bothers you so much, why don't we just go to the New World? I mean, let's get out of this crazy city and sail to America. Puritans are not prosecuted to death there.
Oh yeah, over there they just die of natural causes, starvation.
It's where some of the best Puritans are going.
I cannot move to a continent where the only cultural advantage is corn on the cob.
Oh, come on. You're always complaining about London, the religious repression. I mean, and you know what they say? When a man is tired of London, then he's tired of life.
Well, for me, it's the other way around. I'm definitely tired of life. I just don't know if I'm tired of London
Oh,
yet.
come on. You hate London.
The Pilgrims didn't celebrate the holidays like you and I do, with football and family bickering. The Pilgrims were extreme Puritans. They viewed themselves as the chosen people, and they only celebrated the holidays mentioned in the Bible, the Sabbath, days of thanksgiving and praise, and days of fasting and humiliation. So no Christmas trees, no Easter eggs. They didn't call it Puritanism for nothing.
Oh, Gloria, I'm so excited we finally get to celebrate Thanksgiving. You know, I remember when we used to celebrate Christmas and Easter, but they ain't a part of the true Christian church.
You stopped celebrating them because they were man-made?
No, I stopped because a man made me. Oh, Archie.
Crops fail, well dried up, silly sinner. Famine is God's way of saying, you've been naughty. But with starving to the oldies, now you can tone while you add tone.
I just wanted a bowl of soup. But he says, no soup for you. He's a regular Puritan. That's what he is. He's a soup Puritan. He won't serve me soup. That's his loss. I'll go to America. They've got soup galore. Wait. They've got soup in America, but no girls. Okay, Puritan girls, but they're real Puritans. No sex for you. What do I do, Jerry? Do I pick sex? Soup? You got a quandary here, Jerry. A quandary!
Recently, I visited the Netherlands to see a friend of mine who's a Puritan. She loves the Dutch because they don't persecute her for her unconventional, ultra-Orthodox religious beliefs. I love Holland because of the little balls of fried dough. The Dutch call them oliecake, or oily cakes, but I prefer to call them donuts. My friend says donuts are filling and easy to make, and their round shape lets her be what every Puritan prays to be: holier than thou.
No, buck up there, Jingbat. Look what I brung you for Thanksgiving there. I thought you could use it to serve the poor.
Wow, Daddy, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it looks kind of native.
No, it don't.
Where'd you pick it up, Arch?
Oh, I found it. Oh, yeah, right there where God left it for me there. Once I had to dig around for it, do some of that ex-vacation in there, you know. But hey, wasn't easy neither. I had to pull some dead Indian guy off it there.
Dead Indian? Arch! You realize you stole that out of someone's grave?
No, that weren't no grave.
Yes, it was!
No, it weren't.
But what about the body, Archie?
Yeah, how do you explain the body, Daddy?
Well, there's a perfectly good explanation for that. God hides stuff in the ground here for us, and he uses Indians to mark the spot.
Well, you think he just used an X?
He did. He used an ex-Indian.
Now, Mary is finding it hard to cope with her neighbors who are not devout Puritan separatists.
I try to be judgmental, Reverend Phil, you know, to persecute anyone that doesn't follow the strict Puritan way and all, but I just can't.
All right, now tell us about these neighbors of yours.
They cuss, they drink. One time they even played football on the Sabbath. I wanted to report him to the town elders for heresy, but I'll let him play on.
Yeah, okay. And how did that make you feel, Mary?
Awful. I was just trying to be a good neighbor.
So let me get this straight. Neighbors from hell. Football on Sunday. My question to you is, how is that working for you?
I guess it's not.
I mean, how are we supposed to build a tolerant, peace-loving, holy kingdom with all these ignorant, godless redskins running around? If you ask me, them Indians there, they had that plague coming.
Arch! Most of those people died. It was a horrible human catastrophe.
Oh, geez, catastrophe for them, free real estate for us. That's how God works. Look it up in the Bible there. Please. Them Indians worship your storm clouds and your rivers and like that there, so God smited them pagans.
What? So you're saying they died because they worshiped the wrong God?
Well, certainly, Meathead. If they worshiped the right God, our God would have protected them from the smallpox. Do you see me dropping dead from the smallpox?
Regrettably, no.
But, Daddy, how do you explain that God let half of our people die of disease and starvation during the winter?
Oh, it's very simple there, little girl. God likes us people so much, he brings them up into heaven to be with him there. Now that he's got his quota for the year, the rest of us are allowed to live in a new holy kingdom without Indians. And for that, I give thanks.
Oh, Archie, I almost forgot to tell you. I invited Squanto and his family over for Thanksgiving dinner.
Jeez, you did what?
Well, Arch, there goes the Holy Kingdom.
Those were the days.
One of the more enduring myths about the Pilgrims who sailed on the Mayflower was that they were religious refugees, promoting the cause of religious freedom for all. Actually, the only religious freedom they wanted was their own. Like other Puritans, the Pilgrims were anti-Catholic. But they didn't think other Puritans went far enough. They wanted to separate completely from the Anglican Church. If you can't live with a religion, start a new religion. And if you can't stand England, go to New England.
Oh, Gloria, your father's gonna be so upset. He wanted an old-fashioned Thanksgiving dinner, but there ain't no old-fashioned food here.
Yeah, we can't grow any wheat in this soil, so no bread.
And the bull's dead, so no beef neither. But we've still got turkey, corn, pumpkins, cranberry sauce.
Oh, Gloria, your father don't approve of that kind of ethnic food.
Don't worry, Ma. If Daddy doesn't eat the corn, Michael will.
Hey, who says I won't eat no corn?
Oh, Archie, I just meant...
Sure I eat corn. I was raised on corn. What the hell is this?
Corn.
Oh, that ain't corn. Corn is wheat. Good old-fashioned English wheat.
It's Indian corn, Daddy. Look, it's really good.
Hey, get that away from me! Oh, geez, Edith, don't tell me this damn corn is our Thanksgiving dinner.
Okay, I won't tell you.
Come on, Arch. We work hard to harvest that corn. Even Squanto helped. He picked that stuff with his bare hands.
Oh, geez, thanks a lot there, Meathead. Boy, that really whets my appetite.
Oh, Daddy, what's so bad about eating Indian corn?
Well, first of all, little girl, have a look at it. It's a perverted shape. Second of all, look at this here. You got red corn, blue corn, yellow corn.
Well, what's wrong with that?
I ain't eating no colored food.
And strike, and strike. Turn hunger into funger with Starving to the Oldies.
You can have some fun sitting in the sun at the hanging. At the hanging. See them kick and fight as the rope pulls tight at the hanging. At the hanging. There's lots to eat and lots to do. You can learn some things about morals too. At the hanging. At the hanging. Now back to the Heathen Hunter on PBS, the Puritan Broadcasting System.
Good thing I caught this sinner when I did. Otherwise, our entire village would have to suffer God's wrath in the form of plagues, famine, and ugly wives. That's why I'm gonna mark this heathen's ear to ensure that our beautiful Puritan land is sin-free for generations to come. And remember, it's up to each and every one of us to do our part and keep a lookout for heathens. So keep your ear to the ground. Otherwise, I might have to keep it there for you.
Arch, if we don't eat that corn, we might starve.
Hey, if I was worried about starving, Meathead, I'd have put you back on the Mayflower when it left.
Daddy, you told me that everything here was provided for us by God and that this dinner was to give thanks to God. And I'm afraid you don't sound very thankful.
Oh, jeez, you're right, little girl. I guess we should all be giving thanks to the big guy for providing us with this wonderful bounty here.
Thanks, Squanto.
Oh, jeez.
The Pilgrims saw the Indians as heathens, and therefore the natural instruments of the devil, worse even than Catholics. The only educated and baptized Christian among the Wampanoag people was Squanto, so he was okay. Actually, he was more than okay. The Pilgrims figured Squanto was an instrument of God set in the wilderness to provide for the survival of his chosen people, the Pilgrims.
Oh, come on, Arch. Be a good sport and let Squanto come to dinner. I mean, he gave us food so we could survive the winter, and then he gave us seeds and helped us grow it.
Yeah, and he showed us what poisonous plants to look out for and how to help the crops grow by planting fish in the ground.
Oh, yeah? Well, I still ain't seen no fish trees, little girl.
Archie, he's letting us live on his land.
This land ain't his land. This land is my land. Plymouth, just like in good old England.
Oh, right, then why did this Plymouth used to be called Pawtucket?
Oh, jeez, I don't know. What do I look like, an encyclopedia?
Pawtucket is what Squanto's people used to call this town before they all died of the plague.
That's right, and them Indians ain't farming this land no more. They're fertilizing.
Coming this fall on BFT, two cops. One goes by the book, the good book. The other is a boozing, wenching ne'er-do-well.
By the Saint Small, thou must tell us what thou knowest.
Oh, I'll talk to him.
Hey, let's go. We're gonna talk.
We must vanquish these papish scoundrels.
I care not.
But they are agents of France and Spain.
I care not.
But they have wine.
Now thou talks my language. Don't miss the diverting fortunes and misfortunes of the God-fearing Puritan gentleman who falls in with the base road.
Mary, understand, I'm not here to judge you, okay? Because that is God's job. You've got to see your neighbors for who they really are. Unrepentant sinners who will burn in hell. All right, fine. All I have to say is that you better enjoy it while you can, because in a couple of generations, those Indians are going to repopulate and they're going to want the land back.
Oh, yeah, well, they can't have it back.
Well, says who? It's not like you got a treaty with them or anything.
Oh, treaty, huh? Hey, Edith, don't just stand there. Go get me a quill and paper.
Sure thing, Archie.
Daddy, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm just drawing up a treaty there, little girl, just like Meathead suggested. Yeah, we'll get Squanto over here for dinner, fill him till he can't eat no more. And later, when he's all tired out from the feast there, we'll get him to sign a little piece of paper saying, this town is ours, all on the up and up.
Here you go, Archie. I sharpened the quill and everything.
Oh, Jesus, give me that.
Archie, this is just wrong.
Well, Meathead, there's an old saying. Desperate times call for despicable measures.
You can learn some things about morals too at the hanging.
You've probably been taught that the Pilgrims invited the native people to their Thanksgiving dinner because they had so much food to share. In fact, the Pilgrims had just enough food to make it through the winter, and that was only because the Indians had showed them how to farm native crops. Squanto's people ended up bringing most of the eats. The Pilgrims probably asked the Wampanoag natives to Thanksgiving dinner not out of Christian charity, but to finalize a real estate deal, one where the Indians would hand over the village of Plymouth.
Well, I thought that Thanksgiving dinner was real nice.
Yeah, did you see how much food Squanto's family brought? Turkey and deer and fish and beans and soup and berries.
Oh, Jesus. If you ask me, them savages should have brought over more food there. You invite a guy's family over for dinner, you don't expect them to show up with every aunt, uncle, grandparent, and cousin they got.
Great-grandparents, even.
Hey, did you see that weird thing Squanto and his family did before dinner there with their hands?
Washing?
Yeah, that was weird. Probably trying to get the color out.
Madrigal scene 18 years ago with his first book of madrigals, and followed it up with his scintillating sequel, Second Book of Madrigals, and proved he wasn't just a one brief lyrical poem in strict poetic form wonder by producing a series of top 10 hits with his third book of madrigals, and then, as you know, turned the madrigal world on its ear 2 years ago with what he called his fourth book of madrigals. He's here tonight to play a selection from his enigmatically titled Fifth Book of Madrigals. The Madrigal Mystery Tour is waiting to take you away. Here he is, Mr. Greenhill Monteverdi.
Arch, what do you care, huh? Oh, at least you got your stupid treaty signed.
Oh, I certainly did, Meathead. Look at that. You know, it's like that Squanto guy actually wanted me to have his land.
Well, of course. If we weren't living here, another tribe would move in and take it. Way Squanto sees it, at least his ancestors are happy the land's being put to use.
And you know, it wasn't like I just took the land. I mean, I gave him something in return. A copy of the treaty.
You know, you didn't even say thank you.
All right, you want me to say thanks? I will. Hey, God, it's Archie here. I just want to say thank you for giving us this great land here. And also for the good grub. I know it wasn't no real English Thanksgiving, but I know you work in mysterious ways. Now?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah, God, if it ain't asking too much, we could use another one of them plagues here to get rid of that Squanto guard.
Oh, Daddy!
Arch! And shut Meathead up once and for all. Thank you in advance, God. Amen.
A generation after the natives and Pilgrims shared a peaceful Thanksgiving dinner, their children were tearing each other to pieces in King Philip's War. By the time the muskets went silent, most New England Indians had either been exterminated, fled to Canada, or sold by the Puritans as slaves in the Carolinas. Sadly, slave trading proved so profitable that several Puritan ship owners in Boston began raiding Africa for black slaves, starting another more odious tradition. In 1898, Thanksgiving was declared a national holiday in the United States. By then, the melting pot theory was in full swing, and Americans wanted a national origin myth that everyone could enjoy. But the historical facts proves that, like a mouthful of turkey, real history bites.
Now, if a raccoon was rooting around in your garden, would you try to be a good neighbor to it? Would you chuck some rocks at it?
I'd throw rocks.
How about a magpie that ate all your blueberries?
I'd throw rocks.
How about an Indian whose ancestral land you were living on? Would you throw rocks?
No. I'd have to go get my husband's musket.
Right, because they aren't Puritans, huh? Just as your neighbors aren't Puritans, they're not gonna go to heaven.
They're still people, aren't they?
Oh, Mary, Mary, Mary.